Welcome back to RC Mechanic. Today what we got here is the next victim. The next victim is this HG P407. What we're going to do with this is we're going to do a transmission motor swap on it. And today I think what we're going to do is first off pull that out, and I have another one to go in, and we're going to see if we can come up with some mounts for it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and take the top off this thing. Alright, set that over to the side and just turn this so you can see what we got going on. Alright, so originally this truck came with this 3-speed transmission. Right out of the box it had issues. First off, the radio didn't work. Speed controller just did what it wanted to, and I did get it working through all 3 gears at one point, but it's a pain in the ass. That's all I can say. It's a pain. So I just locked it in first gear because that's the only gear it has 4-wheel drive. So today we're going to pull this thing out. We're going to put something else in and see if we can come up with some mounts. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off. What we got going on here is, if you can see it, there's a screw here, and then there's, let's see, there's a screw, screw right here, about there, and underneath these wires right there. So I'm going to take those out, pop this out, see what we have to do to put a new transmission in here. Alright, so what we got here, the transmission is out. Got this big blank space right here. Here's the old one, right? On the old one, at the back mounts, which would be, let's see, there would be one right here. I'm just going to start these in here because I don't want to lose them at the moment. And there would be one right here. So you had a bolt here and here with some, guess you could say, rubber bushings and aluminum bushings, kinda. Probably to keep the engine from doing this under torque, right? And then we had a screw right here and a screw right here, right? So anyways, those are all popped out. Alright, so what we got going in is another SSD transmission. I bought one of them for that 46 Dodge. I really liked it. I liked how it turned out. So we're going to pull that out of here. Alright, so should have the same usual things like the mount for an SCX10. It's going to end up being completely different for this truck. Alright, so we have screws right here. We have the mounts for the SCX10 right here. We may be able to use some of this. I don't know. We have a pinion gear for the motor. And then we have this transmission. Which is wrapped inside several plastic bags. Alright, so here's the transmission, and it is going to sit right up there, right? Okay, so looks like there's a couple things that I need to do here. I need to, alright, it's going to sit something like that. And it looks like I need to build me some mounts. But I want to also pay attention to how long the drive shafts need to be. So I did take the drive shafts out. Let me see if I can turn this without the whole thing falling through. If you can see. Alright, so here's the rear. It's going to make a big difference as far as, say, if I have to buy new drive shafts, right? Oops. Alright, so that should work for that, right? And we take a look at this here. This would be the front, but whoops. If we take a look at this, the way it is right now, you may be able to see that the shaft right here is much higher than on the other one. So if we hook front shaft up, we're going to be a little short. Alright, so whoops. What do I see needing to happen here is the mount for this needs to go down. Kind of like so. The front will need to go down as well. And if we were to put a motor on it, looks like I will have to take this front cross member right here and modify it. Alright. So what will I have to do to modify it? Well, it looks like, if you can see it here, I may have to end up cutting it here and here, make a hoop, so that the whole thing can sit down. And I will need to, like on the SCX10 mount, let's cut it open. So it sits kind of like that, right? Kind of like that. Oops. Let me go ahead and get a different camera angle on here. Okay, so the SX10 mount right here, it will fit. It's just a little bit too wide, right? So whoop. Okay, so it sits in here just like that, kind of like that. You have to sit forward a little bit. We'll just have to figure it out, right? So I'm gonna put the screws in so that this here stays on here. Alright, so what I'm gonna have to do, I've got this here mounted on, is, well, first off, turn that around. It's the wrong end. Alright, so you can see one side fits in there pretty good, right? Well, this side does. Actually follows the curve fairly well. Actually might even, there's two holes. Looks like it would have to drill one. But on the other side, like right here, you can see it, we got a big gap. So I may have to build a bracket for that, right? First I need to make sure I'm getting everything where it's supposed to be. Like I was saying for the transfer case and all that. As far as the motor goes, I mean, the motor, actually with this setup, there's going to be a whole lot more room right up in here if I have it set back this far. Now, if I end up moving it ahead, you know, like say trim some of this off and moving it ahead, which what I'll most likely do is take this the shock tower off and move it up into where I need it to be. Alright, so I got the motor up in here, and in case you guys missed it on the SCX10 clone on this style transmission, you basically you take this plate off, you remove 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 bell housing bolts right here. You can see that right there. And then you go ahead and you attach the motor, and then install your pinion, adjust your mesh right here, and the way you adjust that is that you have this gear right here. Okay, it slides into here like so, and you adjust your mesh. You don't want it too tight. I've done this enough times where I can basically do it by feel. And the other part of that is that the end of this is not in its cavity in the bearing, so I have to kind of, what I do is I make it just a little bit loose so that when it does, you know, everything is all put together, that hopefully it's right. Okay, may have to do some adjustments down the road. And then I went ahead and I put some lithium grease in there. I'm trying not to over grease this time. So here we go ahead and we just slap that back together. It marries up just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these bolts in right here, and then we're gonna see what we can do about getting these brackets into that frame. Okay, so I thought maybe I could stretch this frame out a bit to get the this to sit down in there, but this frame is like really stiff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, first off, I'm going to retighten this again because I tried moving it around. Let's see. And the other side. Alright, I don't know if you can see this, but the hole is ever so slightly off. Okay, this is threaded right here, this piece. But also, so is this. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill this through, and so I can just run a screw straight through, and then it'll thread into this right here. Okay? I'm going to do that real quick. If I can find my bits. Alright, so we got our bits. What I'm going to want to do is also clamp that tight so it doesn't move. One of these ought to work. Oh, there we go. These vice grips haven't been used in like a really long time, so we'll clamp this down so that this piece, like right up in here, doesn't move around while I'm drilling it. Yeah, let's see. Looks like we'll go with like a 1/8 drill bit. I'm going to take this tire off so it's not in the way. Oops. I guess we'll have to get the pallets out again. It's kind of like what? Power Nation or something? Or not? Let's do this side so we can see, you know, how that works out. So this hole right here is what we want to drill out. And I do it at a low speed. Alright, so all I really need is to get a screw to fit through there. So it'll go all the way through. And like that. See that? That's what we want. Probably not one that long, but you get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the other side. Alright. Make sure that one goes through. Alright, so the next thing is that this here is like too narrow. So I'll go and put this up on my sander. I'm going to see if I can knock down, oh, let's just say half that on each side. So in that case, I'm going to have to take them off. I'm going to go do that, and then I will be right back. What ended up happening. See this right here, they used to have on this side, there used to be a tab up here with 2 screws on it. I ended up cutting that off. And I've trimmed this almost flush. Not quite, but almost. And now it fits like perfect. I've already tried it, and the beauty of this is that this long side of the SCX10 mount will fit. The holes will line up. So I can have three screws in here like stock on the SCX10 original, and yeah, if I need to, I can always put like a spacer right there. So I'm not thinking well, I may have to. I'm not sure. Or it'll end up being washers, if nothing else. So I have a variety of different size washers. So let me go and put this back in. I'll show you what it's going to look like. And well, the one thing I will have to do is, like I did here, is drill out this hole so I can run a screw straight through and throw it into right there. Okay, so the screws I have in here right now are, whoops, they're countersunk screws. They're not going to be the ones that'll be in there. They're just there to hold it, so, you know, for visual purpose. I'm going to put something else in there. The next step on this here project is, for fabricating, is this cross member right here. Alright, so I'm going to have to build something for that, but I ran into an issue with the drive shaft. This drive shaft will most likely work just fine right where it's at, except, well, I guess it's a little bit too long. So I found a great deal on these incision drive shafts, so let's take a look at them and see how they work. Alright, these are what I bought. Part number IRC 00220, made in Taiwan, like a lot of things. But the thing is that I did find them available in the US, so that's what I bought. So, if they were not available in the US, I would not have bought them. Alright, so this is the length we have fully compressed. Here's the rear drive shaft right now. So as you can see, there's a big difference, right? So let's see how this will work. Just gonna stick that up there, that right there. Hey, that'll work, eh? Alright, so on the front, wherever that went, here it is. As you can see, the front is, the original one is like extremely short, so I'm going to end up having to do the same thing with that. And I believe that there will work, right? Maybe. Well, you know what? This front one is really extended a lot. So what I'm going to have to do with the front, right, is I will have to loosen these U-bolts there and turn it so it meets up a little bit better driveline angle wise. Alright, so if you look at this rear drive shaft, you can see right here it's pretty straight line, and then it's, you can see it. Okay, that's about where the transmission will be sitting. There is a little bit of a bind right up in here. You can see that probably. On the front, like I said, it's extended quite a bit. I will need to turn this so that the angle right here isn't quite so bad, and when I turn this to alleviate this angle, it should alleviate some of this angle, so, and also bring the drive shaft in. So that's my plan for the drive shafts. I wasn't going to use them on this truck, but it looks like I'm going to have to. Alright, so next up, there's going to be a lot of fabricating with this project. I've been wanting to do this one for a while, to this extent. I mean, the only thing I haven't done is replace the axles. They're still HG P407 axles, so, or Bruiser knockoff, and they seem to be working okay. You know, put these wheel hubs and axle upgrades in here, and you know, it's smooth. I mean, it's very smooth. So I can't tell if my pinion is bent or just because my drive shaft isn't tight, but yeah, it's looking good. So please stay tuned for more. There's going to be more on this truck. We are going to do the rear transmission mount next. Then we'll get these drive shafts all locked in, and once that's all done, we'll go ahead and throw in the floor. It almost looks like the way this is sitting right now that I could have just mocked up one, and it probably would have been damn close. But hey, never know. We're gonna have to make a bracket for this right here. That is not working. So hopefully you like this video. There's gonna be more like it. I'm gonna try to mix some things up. We're not gonna just work on this right now. I have some other things I need to finish as well, so we're gonna mix some of it up. Anyway, this is RC Mechanics, and keep building, keep fixing, keep fabricating, and I'll catch you next time.